Okay, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong about the Garden of Salvation raid, and we're going to talk all about it in this video. Classic case of good old Mesa fail, foot and mouth syndrome. So what kicked it off was the other night with a bunch of channel members, we did the first 3 encounters of the Garden of Salvation raid. So then that kicked it off with, hey, this is actually really fun. It's the opposite of what I was complaining about, which was that the raids in Destiny 2 just kind of lacked that, the trifecta of action, fun, and also mechanics. I felt like when I was watching the videos on how to do the Garden of Salvation raid, well, it looked like, to me, it was all mechanics. No fun, no action, but in actually doing it, it is a combination. Now, is it like a Destiny 1 raid? No, let's not go that far, okay? But I do think, in my humble opinion, this is one of the more fun raids, or to me, the most fun raid in Destiny 2. And to give a little context here, I was on the Say No to Rage, the Twitch streamer. I was on his podcast last week, the Rageless Roundtable. And part of some of the things that I brought up was the Destiny 2 raids, they lacked the trifecta, the fun, the action, and the mechanics. They've just all been mechanics. And to give you some more context, I liked the Leviathan raid, the Eater of Worlds, I liked Eater of Worlds. Spire of Stars, hated it. Last Wish, I did it like 5 times. It was okay. Didn't really like it. Then we have Scourge of the Past. I did that once. Did not like that at all. And Crown of Sorrows, I never even did because just looking at all the Twitch streams, it just looked like you're in the menagerie rooms the whole time, running to a crystal, getting empowered, and I don't know, it just looked boring to me. I don't know. Hey, please convince me. The WTF Game Nation guys who I did this raid with for the full completion, they convinced me that, well, no, they haven't convinced me. They're making me do the Crown of Sorrows raid with them. However, I will say that kicking this off with doing the first 3 encounters with channel members really got me sparked into doing, hey, you know what, let's maybe start doing this raid. Because in the first 3 encounters, we started getting loot, and I got myself an awesome shotgun that rolled with 1-2 punch, and I was on what's called Gambit duty. We're going to talk about the different encounters, because in this raid, and I'm going off the cuff here, guys, in this raid, it's a lot about tethering, which it is mechanical. It is part of the mechanics, but it's not difficult. You're using these tethers where you're tethering as teams of 6, as teams of 3, as teams of 2s to either open doors or to empower each other. The other mechanic is playing Gambit, is going and killing things and collecting motes and then depositing them in different encounters within a raid. So when I was on Gambit duty, in the 3rd encounter, where we got to actually kill one of the bosses, there were these huge minotaurs. And man, using that 1-2 punch shotgun came in so handy with just shotgunning him and then giving him a quick melee, and he was dead as disco. All right, so let's break down some of this raid and what I thought of each encounter. So you're watching the first encounter here. So look, we're going to try to get this door open. Real simple. We just got to make a line, and yeah, the door opens. Well, actually, sorry, it didn't open that time. We got to go to one more of those boxes, and there we go. We're going to tether, and then the door is going to open, and then we're going to be greeted by a whole bunch of more ads, and then it's basically a dash to get to the end. There's going to be a bunch of Cyclopses. We're looking at a boss right now. We're not actually going to kill him. And here, yeah, we're just going to run past these Cyclopses. Some people will die. I die here. We throw down some supers. And then once you run past this, well, you've completed the first encounter. So the whole first encounter is really just a mad dash to the end. And once you get past all the Cyclopses, then you get your chest and the first completion's done. But the whole time is you're broken off into teams of just tethering to get doors open, and once those people get the doors open, and that's where I died, you get the door open, and then the next team will then move forward and so forth. And it's really not hard to follow. Dado, in my opinion, has the best guides on how to do the raid. Next encounter, really fun. So it's all about defending the point and then going to the middle to defend a bigger point. So I was just empowered or enlightened if you look on the left-hand side of the screen. And you become enlightened when someone comes by your point and tethers you to that little box, and you've got a certain amount of time that you see on the left-hand side of the screen. The reason why you want to be enlightened is because you're going to see in a second here, see those Vex right there? They have white shields. Now, unless you're enlightened, you cannot take those shields down. But the good news is, when you're enlightened, well, it only takes one bullet to take the shield down when you're enlightened, and then you can kill those ads. So here I am enlightened, and I'm coming down in terms of my seconds, you could see on the left-hand side of the screen. So when I hit about, I don't know, 10 seconds or maybe even like 14 seconds, I start calling out that I need to be enlightened. And then I believe it was Toast from WTF Game Nation. He's going to come by where I am. He knows where I am. And here we go. He's going to then go there. He's going to shoot that little box. He's going to tether me to that little center point there. And then boom, I'm enlightened again. And now I have another 40 or so seconds to then defend this point. During this encounter, at certain points, you will have angelics, or angelicas as we call them, spawn in. And they're basically big hydras. When you have them spawn in, they're pretty beefy. They will do a lot of damage and try to murder you. And you best want to call in people to come and help you, namely the person that's running around and coming to tether you again to empower you. So I would highly recommend using anti-barrier rounds for this raid. Another thing too is, this is my first full completion and I'm not using the optimal DPS weapons. This is a sniper heavy raid. When it comes to the final boss, you're going to want to use Izanagi's. You're going to want to use Whisper of the Worm, maybe a high-impact energy sniper. I know for me, look, I cannot stand kinetic snipers. I'm just too used to the Destiny 1 cycle, so the next time I do it, I'm probably just going to use my beloved with Box Breathing or Whisper of the Worm. You'll see at the end when we kill the final boss, I'm using Swarm of the Raven, which is not doing that much DPS, but you more than likely want to try to go into this raid with a sniper. Then after a number of times of defending your points and not having any Vex sacrifice themselves, well, you're all going to run to the middle and defend the middle. And then from there, this is going to set you up for the room or final area where you're going to finally kill a boss. You're going to kill that big harpy that's been floating around and chasing you this whole time. But this encounter was fun because it was somewhat mechanical and it was nonstop action and it did involve callouts. So once again, foot in my mouth, it was a fun encounter. Now it's time to kill this consecrated mine. Now we broke off into two teams, right? You've got the shooting the eyes team and then you've got the collecting motes and depositing them team. So here I am, I'm in the middle here, and this thing's going to spit on me, right? And when it does, I can see whether the eyes are lit up on the outside or inside. That's it, no other call out. So I call out outside. Now the people on the left and right hand side, but actually it's only two people the way that the WTF Game Nation guys do it, they're going to shoot the outside. So I saw an outside eye. The other guys, when they're looking at it, they don't see that. They see both eyes are lit up. So I call out outside eyes. So that person next to me shoots the outside eyes of the consecrated mine, and you did your job right, and you go back to the middle. Then that thing's going to move again, and you're going to follow it and do the same exact thing that you just did. While you're doing this, you're going to do this 3 times, and then everyone's going to go DPS. Because while you're doing this, the rest of the team are killing these big minotaurs and taking this to a spot where you're going to do DPS, and when they deposit 30 motes, well, it's DPS time, because that's where this consecrated mine's going to go to. Now, when I do have the consecrated mine spit on me, I get a voltaic charge for about 3 minutes, and then I can't take that charge again. Someone else will have to. Now, I get it again here because I died before, so I lost it. So here again, I'm going to call out outer eye. Now, the other person next to me can't see which eye it is. They're going to see all of the eyes lit up, but they heard me call out outer eye. So then they're going to shoot the outer eyes on both left and right-hand side. I will always shoot the top one. Now, in this clip here, they've deposited 30 motes. He's going to the area where they deposited them, and we're going to do DPS. First thing he's going to do is he's going to open up, and all of his eyes are going to be glowing red. Simply, everyone has to shoot those eyes. You could use Recluse, you could use auto rifles, you could use your machine guns. Once you shoot out all of his eyes, then his crit spot is going to be in the middle. So here's where you want to have your Well of Radiance, maybe some Weapons of Light, and so forth. But here's where the optimal DPS weapons come in, which I did not have. You want to use Izanagi's Burden, you want to use Whisper of the Worm, you want to use anything that's going to do high impact on a crit spot that's right in the middle in his eye. Now you can see someone is using Divinity on him to envelop him, and anywhere you hit him, well, you're going to do some crit damage. And you could see within that one phase, we did a lot of damage to him. So you simply do this again, rinse and repeat, and then he eventually dies. But overall, it's a really fun player experience. Lots of action. You've got some good call-outs. You've got different teams doing things. I would recommend everyone just shut up, turn the music off, and stick to only call-outs. And I don't mean that in a nasty way, shut up. I should mean everyone, okay, stick to call-outs. Let's keep it to, cut the chatter, Red 2. So here I am. I cannot take the spit because if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, I have the Voltaic Overflow. If he spits on me, I will die. Now, he made a call-out. He said outer. And you just designate someone to shoot either top, left, or right. Real simple, guys. It's not like Last Wish where you're looking at a million different symbols and you got to say dragon pointing down, bird left, whatever. It's so easy. It's either in or out, and that's it. And you either shoot top, left, or right. Super simple to follow. While the other team is simply collecting motes, and the only thing that they need to keep track of is how many motes have they collected. I believe we were doing 5, 5, and 10. Because remember, you need to get 30 deposited, and once you have 30, well, then you're good to go, and you can go to that, well, the Consecrated Mine's going to go to the area where you've been depositing motes, and then you could all do DPS. Here's a better clip of us shooting out all of the eyes when you're getting ready to do DPS. We shoot out all of the eyes, and now you want to shoot the center. Golden Gun with Celestial Nighthawk comes in handy, and we wasted him in 2 phases. So, yeah, really fun player experience, and there's not much more to say. Communication is key, and keeping the chatter down to just callouts, because you're getting the folks who are trying to keep track of how many motes are being deposited, whether you're doing 5 and 10, because each Minotaur, I believe, drops 5. One night when I was doing it with channel members, we kind of were switching things up. I was doing eyes at the beginning, and then I was doing collecting motes. But I would suggest try both, being the eye person or being the guy that does all the mote collecting. It's a lot of fun. Another thing that blew me away about this raid was how big it was in terms of just, it's stunning, it's gorgeous, there are some hidden chests that you can get, but it's one of those raids that even though it's enormous and stunning, I mean, it's like, it's got to be like 3 times the size of the moon. I mean, this thing, like, alone could be its own patrol space. I liked how it was, you go to the next encounter, okay? That's one of the things I hated about the Leviathan was you do the encounter, and then it's either go through the underbelly or go do the Castellum. Those really annoyed me. This is just, you know what? You finish the encounter, you move on to the next one, you grab a chest on the way there, and it's not 20 minutes between encounters. Final boss fight, I can't explain fully, but I'll do my best with what I understood, okay? Because first time doing it, and here's what I understand it as. Right side orange, left side blue. One team is Team Gambit, the other team is Team Building, because there's going to be areas out here that this boss here is going to be making disappear. Now, we're going into an orange portal. This is the orange side, right-hand side. So me and my teammate, Sarang, we're going to go kill a bunch of ads and collect motes and bring them back out and make a deposit. Now, to get that orange portal open for us to go in, they had to, I believe, shoot his shoulder, and then it opens up that portal. Once we collected our motes, we would then yell out, pull us. And I don't know what they would do. I think they would shoot his shoulder again. I don't know. They would do something out here to pull us back out. From there, then we would go and deposit our motes. Then they're going to do the same thing, except they're going to shoot his, I believe, knee, and that's going to take us to the blue side. And we are on Gambit team, so we're going to do the same thing. Once you have 30 motes, I believe that's when it's DPS time. Now, I'm going to try to explain this, even though I don't really have footage for it. So while we're doing this whole thing with the Gambit thing and collecting motes, outside, the main boss is going to be doing this ground slam thing. And when he does the ground slam thing, he's going to kill anyone that's standing there. Cyclopses will be spawning. You got to snipe those Cyclopses because they will one-shot you. And when he ground slams an area, that area is going to disappear because the arena is kind of like this big semicircle around the boss. So the people outside, they're using the tether system that you've been using all along to either enlighten yourselves or do whatever to rebuild the areas that he has taken away from the people outside. Now, once you've deposited enough motes into your relays, well, you're going to get ready for DPS. So once you've deposited enough, you're going to have some more angelic spawn. You're going to have some more ad spawn. You want to take care of them. And then there's some more tethering involved. And at this point, guys, I really don't understand this part, okay? I'm going to link Dado's video in the description because he will explain it better. I was on Gambit Prime mode where I was just collecting motes. But once you do some tethering, and I believe there's 2 sections to the tethering, and you have to do it in a certain amount of time to get him into this animation where he jumps up and then he falls back down to the ground, and everyone can do some DPS on him. Like I said, you want to use snipers. Don't use what I'm using here. This is my first completion, so I'm using Outbreak, Recluse, and I'm using my Swarm of the Raven. But next time I go to do this, well, I'll be bringing my Whisper of the Worm, maybe Izanagi's, even though I cannot stand snipers in the kinetic slot. Same thing for shotguns. I'm still used to the Destiny 1 phase. Well, I'm sorry, why do I keep saying phase? I'm still used to the Destiny 1 system. But I do have a Beloved with box breathing on it. And I know it's not the damage that Izanagi's or Whisper can do, but hey, if it's going to get me some crit shots with a sniper, I'm going to go ahead and use it, all right? But overall, I just wanted to kind of make this a mini guide, but more really to sell you on this raid is doable, and it meets the trifecta that I say, which is fun, mechanics, and also action. Lots of action. I like action. I like killing things. So I recommend, yeah, try the raid, guys. Try the LFG in my channel member Discord. We're getting people together. We're going to get people through it. I'm going to go back and do my best for the next time we do this to do not the Gambit Prime part, as I'm calling it, for this part of the raid, the final boss section and collecting motes. I want to be outside. I want to learn how to, make sure that I can repair all of the parts that the boss, when he's doing his ground slam and removing parts where people need to stand and wiping people. But also the whole, how do you tether again? Because, yeah, I watched Dado's video just now, like 2 or 3 times, and I still semi-understand it because there's the blue and there's the orange. And you have to tether, I think, 2 times to get him into this damage phase or where he's going to go into the animation to do damage on him. I think that is where some timing is involved. But I don't know. Again, watch his video. I'll link it in the description. But great raid, guys. Bungie, I think you did a great job in it. You've met my expectations of fun, mechanics, and also action. And I want to do it over and over. The armor, it's okay. I was expecting some better stat rolls or for it to look better. But the weapons, I think, are probably the coolest looking weapons in the game. And I want to grind for some better rolls on those particular weapons. And that's really it, guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end. If you'd like to further support this channel and become a channel member, click the link in the description or join on screen and come on in and hang out with us in our channel member Discord. If you need a clan, we have one for you if you want. We're up to our 3rd regiment of the Mesa Army. And that's just, one of the extra benefits of becoming a member is if you need a clan, we've got one there for you. All right, guys, do me a favor. Leave me a like on this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at MesaSean. Check out my stream. Usually always on YouTube. And that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.